Hey, what's up, guys? I want to tell you a quick story about some of the early struggles that I went through because I know there's a lot of people that are going through similar challenges in their life. And I want to just tell you a little bit about how I was able to make it out of that. And so I'm going to dive deep into a little bit of my backstory. And so, really, before I even started my weight loss journey and really my journey to become a better person, I was in a deep, dark place, man. Like, I have vivid memories of getting out of the shower and looking in the mirror and just being embarrassed, being humiliated with the person that I had become. I remember one time I was at the beach with some of my friends, and I remember, getting ready for the beach. We were gathering all of our stuff. We had our beer and the food that we were taking to the beach for the day. And I remember standing in my room at the beach condo that we were at and really thinking to myself, okay, am I going to go with no shirt or am I going to go with a shirt? Should I even take a shirt to the beach? And I'm tossing this, I know it sounds silly, but I'm tossing this decision back and forth because one of the friends that I was with actually asked me one time, like, when I was going to buy a bra. Like, that's how bad my man boobs were. And I couldn't deal with that, man. I was ashamed and I didn't know that, I didn't know if I really wanted to deal with that all day. So I threw the shirt in my bag and off to the beach we went. And I remember, we were getting ready to, getting everything set up like you do when you go to the beach, our tarps and all that. And we all go and we run and get in the water. And of course, no one's paying attention to me then, but it was the time that we spent on the beach after that I was concerned about. We were playing horseshoes and washers and all the things that we do when we go to the beach. And so, I remember getting out of the water and having this huge debate in my mind, like, what am I going to do? Am I going to put on the shirt or am I just going to go with it? And so I end up putting on the shirt. Of course, it's wet because I just got out of the water. And this thing's like skin tight on me, and I was very self-conscious about the gut and the man boobs. So I get through the day and without any comments this time, but in my mind, I'm hearing that again. Hey man, when are you going to buy a bra? Like, come on, man. Like, no dude wants to hear that. So when all this stuff started happening, I just, I knew that I wanted to get in good shape. I knew I wanted to have a great physique. I wanted to lose the weight. At the time I was 60 pounds overweight, and I knew that I needed to lose the weight. But at the time I just wasn't quite ready. And it wasn't really about the weight loss and the better physique. I wanted my wife to find me attractive. But it was some of the internal thoughts that I was having, the internal desires. Like, I wanted to be able to lead by example. I wanted to be a role model for my friends and my family, and not have them look at me as somebody that's like this dumpy overweight guy with a beer gut and man boobs. Like, I embraced it for a while because the whole dad bod thing, but that wasn't me, and I knew that wasn't me. And I wanted to be accepted. I wanted to be loved. I wanted my wife to find me attractive again. I wanted to have those comments made to me on a regular basis. Hey, you're looking good these days. That every guy wants to hear that and feel attractive and wanted by their wife. And so, that was a pretty dark place for me. And so I finally decided that I needed to take action, and I was gonna commit to trying to lose some weight. So I did, the popular thing, and I started trying to jump onto some of these fad diets. I started off with low carb, and just some basic cardio. I was going for a few jogs a week and trying to follow low carb, and I'd get a little bit of results, and then, then the scale would go back up. And then, I just became very frustrated. I'm like, this just isn't working. So I was like, I'm going to get even more strict. So I decided to try keto or Atkins, and I cut out all carbs, and I did well for a couple of weeks and was seeing some pretty good results. And then, on Friday night came around and I wanted to go have some pizza with my wife. She's not on the keto or Atkins diet at the time. And so we go out for pizza, and like thinking to myself, well, I'm just going to get a grilled chicken salad, or I'm going to enjoy some pizza. And so I caved, that's what happens. And I had a couple slices of pizza, and then it dawned on me, like, this is just not sustainable. I go home the next day. I weighed myself. This is like a little 1 pound tick up on the scale. But then I got to start the whole ketosis process all over again. And I just was not ready to get that strict again. I'm like, I don't want to give up all my favorite foods just to lose the weight and be healthy. There's got to be a better way. And so I was frustrated. I was overwhelmed with the process, and I just didn't know what I needed to do. And so I went back to the drawing board and really kind of thought about this. And I'm thinking to myself, like, I do want to be attractive. I do want to be a role model for my son, and I want to lead by example. But this is just so frustrating. And so I went back to the drawing board, and what I really decided to do was just take my own knowledge and experience, put it all together, and come up with a way that I was going to lose the weight, get in great shape, but without giving up my favorite foods. And I knew that I was gonna have to work really hard at that, because it's not the easiest thing to figure out. So I made some progress. I figured out a structure to follow for a little while that was working really well. I saw, 4 or 5 pounds come off the scale, and then I'd get a little uptick, 2 or 3 pounds. I'm like, and then 4 or 5 more pounds, and then put back on 2 or 3. And I'm like, okay, I haven't found the sweet spot yet. This just isn't gonna work. I can't have a 5-pound weight loss followed by a 3-pound weight gain and make any real progress. And that was what was frustrating me. So I was beating myself up a little bit about it, because I worked really hard at trying to figure this out. I was trying to do the workouts. I would increase my cardio intensity and go for longer jogs and run 3 to 5 miles several times a week. And I'm like, okay, I've got the exercise part down. Now I just need to continue to try to dial in the eating part. And so I continue to work at this, and I finally figured out that wasn't all that needed to happen, that I need to have the other core pillars of health aligned with who I wanted to become. And so it's kind of like when you're putting a puzzle together, right? And like, you're almost there, but you're missing a few pieces where you don't quite know where they're at. And that was what was going on in my mind. Like, I think I've got this thing almost figured out, but I'm a couple of pieces away. And so then it all clicked. I had this epiphany. I was like, okay, I figured this out. Because then I put it all together and I started getting real results. My weight started trending down. My energy levels started going up. And I'm like, okay, all the pillars of health are aligned. Now I've got the puzzle put together, and now I'm going to run with this. And so weekend after weekend's coming by, I'm eating burgers and tacos and pizza. I'm like, this is working. This is working. I fixed my workout structure. I got it all exactly where I needed it to be. And I was able to eat healthy but tasty foods during the week and really have the foods I wanted whenever I wanted on the weekends. And now I had this great feeling of accomplishment, right? So things would continue to progress for me, and I went on to finally drop the 60 pounds that I was wanting to drop. But that's not the best thing that happened to me. The best thing that happened to me was the man that I had become because of all the weight loss, but also getting the pillars of health and all my puzzle pieces placed on the board correctly to make me feel, not only look, but also feel like the healthiest version of me, but also be the role model for my son, have him be able to look up to me, be a role model for my friends. Now they were making comments to me like, hey man, like, no more shirt and man boobs, dude, you're looking ripped these days. And so and all that's great on the surface, but the bottom line is the man that I became and the transformation that I had of being able to really have that confidence back and that sense of acceptance and well-being, and have my wife, what I thought, she's always loved me, but now she loved me and was making comments all the time like, damn, honey, you're looking good these days. And really have that as it be the leader of my family in every aspect. And that's the most important piece that's come out of this, because we can talk about weight loss all day long, but that's where the magic happened for me. And that's why I decided to start Dad Bod Health, so that I could help other men follow my exact system so that they could get to where they wanted to be and become the most elite version of themselves, not just the healthiest version of themselves. So I hope you got something out of this. That's why I started Dad Bod Health and the Man Up community. And I'm really excited about this journey that I'm on now, because now I get to help other men have this exact epiphany And it's just been a real game changer for me. So I hope that helps you guys, and I'll see you in my next video.